Like the risk of mad cow disease? No? Then choose vegan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Many of Mrs. Collins' students graduated from prestigious colleges and universities such as Harvard and Yale to become physicians, engineers and lawyers. Marva Collins, the outstanding educational reformer, Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
If you have the pleasure of visiting Guyana, the vibrant locals may greet you with an enthusiastic "God bless me eyesight." It's what breeze blow you hey. That means God bless my eyesight. What brought you here? Virtuous viewers, I am Mark. The pure-hearted people of Guyana wish you and your loved ones an abundance of bliss. May all thrive in peace and harmony in heaven's light. We are delighted to have you join us for part 2 of the 2-part series entitled Marva Collins, the Outstanding Educational Reformer.
Once children learn how to learn, nothing is going to narrow their mind. The essence of teaching is to make learning contagious, to have one idea spark another. Marva Collins.
Born on August 31st, 1936 in Monroeville, Alabama, Marva Collins, whose maiden name was Knight, was an American teacher. In 1975, she started Westside Preparatory School, which served an impoverished community in Garfield Park, Chicago. Marva Collins became internationally renowned for developing her own educational methods and empowering her students. She has written books and manuals describing her history and methodology. Marva Collins' system of teaching displayed how much she cared for each student. She was generous with hugs and praise, calming, and able to get through to students who were initially resistant to learning. Mrs. Collins loved all students equally, and she respected their intellectual independence and individuality even when they disagreed with her. Essentially, Marva Collins offered her students a philosophy for living. She emphasized that achievement and excellence in life requires a sense of worth and independent thinking.
To develop success without competition is to feel good about yourself, realizing that each one of us are very, very unique, and that principles enunciated is really no good if we do not act them out. But here each child knows that they're very, very unique, that they're very special, and I think each child develops his own self-esteem, so there's no need to be competitive.
Westside Preparatory School became a commercial and educational success. Marva Collins had the statistics to prove that these students were teachable and able to overcome obstacles of learning using her teaching methods. Many of Mrs. Collins' students graduated from prestigious colleges and universities such as Harvard and Yale to become physicians, engineers, and lawyers. The CBS television news show 60 Minutes visited Mrs. Collins' school for a second time in 1995, acknowledging her teaching success. They followed the remarkable accomplishments of some of her students, including one who had been labeled as uneducable as a little girl, yet graduated in 1976 from college with honors. Following the interview, Westside Preparatory School gained national prominence. Marva Collins was offered several influential positions, including superintendent of the Los Angeles school system and the U.S. Secretary of Education, but she chose to remain with her school. Marva Collins rose to international fame in 1981 with the release of Peter Levin's biographical TV movie, The Marva Collins Story, starring Cicely Tyson and Morgan Freeman. The film documents the reasons she left the public school system to open Westside Preparatory School and how she earned her many admirers.
But as sure as there's a God in heaven, as sure as the sun's gonna shine, so help me, we'll find a way. Meanwhile, I want $400 worth of learning out of you today. All right, who's gonna recite that poem for me?
Keep It Going by Frank L. Stanton. If you strike a thorn or rose, keep it going. If it hail or if it snow, keep it going. Tain't no use to sit and whine. When the weather kills your crop, keep it going. Those whose work to reach the top, keep it going. Suppose you're out of every every dime. Getting broke ain't any crime. Tell the world you're feeling prime. Keep it going.
If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim.
If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone. And so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will that says to them, hold on. If you can feel the unforgiving man with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Let's take a moment to pray that all children around the world may forever be cared for through the grace of the Providence. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television.
One should not injure, subjugate, enslave, torture, or kill any animal, living being, organism, or sentient being. Holy Acharanga Sutra, Jainism.
Welcome back to Marva Collins, the outstanding educational reformer, part 2 of 2. Marva Collins trained teachers in her educational program, basing her curriculum on classical literature, a material that contains abstract concepts. She encouraged her students to analyze what they read and express their own opinions and interpretations. Her purpose was to teach them the values of holding societies together. According to one classroom observer, the children were keen to participate in classroom debates, and their verbal skills and reasoning abilities were outstanding. Marva Collins was instrumental in helping Kevin Ross, a 23-year-old Creighton University basketball player, learn to read. As a functional illiterate, he returned to elementary school, enrolling in second grade at Westside Preparatory School. He received private tutoring from Mrs. Marva Collins and graduated 9 months later in 1983, having climbed 11 grades in reading skills. World-famous musician Prince featured Marva Collins in his music video, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, in 1994. Prince also donated $500,000 to the Westside Preparatory School Teacher Training Institute, created to share Marva Collins' teaching methodology. In 1996, Mrs. Collins started supervising 3 Chicago public schools placed on probation. She received numerous awards for her teaching and efforts at school reform. Marva Collins received an award for greatest public service benefiting the disadvantaged from Jefferson Awards for Public Service in 1981 and the Golden Plate Award for the American Academy of Achievement in 1982. Marva Collins is also an honorary member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the first intercollegiate historically African-American sorority. In 2004, she was presented the prestigious National Humanities Medal by then-President His Excellency George W. Bush, who is also a Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion recipient. Corporations have recognized that the same skills Marva Collins developed in her students were applicable to successful businesses. She has spoken to and trained executives of major companies such as the European division of IBM and the National Bankers Association. As her fame grew, she began to train other teachers and publish books, including Ordinary Children, Extraordinary Teachers, and Marva Collins' Way, written with Sylvia Tamarkin. Marva Collins passed away on June 24, 2015, at the age of 78, but her spirit, drive, courage, and dedication live on through her students and the high levels of accomplishment. A unique and saintly teacher, Marva Collins' exemplary life story continues to be an inspiration for parents and educators. In 2009, during the Climate Change Conference with Supreme Master Chin Hai in Washington, D.C., Master mentioned the noble and crucial role of teachers.
And it is true that we are indebted to all the inspiring teachers whom we are honored to learn from throughout our lives, especially the teachers who impart the moral values as you mentioned, and a virtuous way of life, who help to nurture the citizens of the world to do good deeds selflessly, who treat others with kindness and fairness, and take care of the weak and the less fortunate. If we had more such teachers, our world could become a heaven. As the famous American historian Henry Adams said, I quote him, "A teacher affects eternity, even eternity." Wow, not just one lifetime, eh? A good teacher. A teacher affects eternity. That's something to think about. The best way, I think, is to start with a spiritual foundation, because spiritual practice includes the basic moral and social standards. I think all the schools on our planet should include spiritual and moral standards in our school curriculum.
We thank all the great teachers who play such an important role in our lives and in society. To our graceful viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company today. Coming up next is Singapore Vegan Hacker Food, part 1 of 2, Teochew Mee Pok or noodles, and Nyonya Pumpkin Kaya Toast, here on Supreme Master Television. May the Divine bless you abundantly, with good health, much happiness, and a gallant spirit.
Don't be a vegan, because you seem to prefer hell to heaven.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/MOS.